లేదా ఒకవేళ లేదా క్యాన్సిల్ చేస్తే ఆ కన్సర్న్ పీపుల్ లేదా ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ లాగా పెద్దలు ఎలా అని అపీల్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఈ విషయాల గురించి మనం 9th చాప్టర్లో మాట్లాడతాం. ఒకసారి చూద్దాం ఒక్కొక్కటి. అసలు ఎన్ని సెక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి ఒక్కొక్క చాప్టర్? ఇప్పుడు 9th చాప్టర్లో ఏ సెక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి అనే దాని గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుతుంటే there are 7 sections in 9th chapter. 9వ చాప్టర్లో మనకి 7 సెక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఎక్కడ నుంచి ఎక్కడి వరకు ఉంటాయమ్మా? 49 to 55. ఒకసారి మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే సింపుల్గా ఒక సెక్షన్ అది ఏం చెప్తుంది అంతే. ఎందుకంటే టైం లిమిట్. సో ఫస్ట్ 49 కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీ. రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ఇవ్వడానికి ఎవరు కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీ ఏంటి? అలాగే 50th రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అంటే ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్. అండ్ 51 అప్లికేషన్ అండ్ గ్రాంట్ ఆఫ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఆఫ్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్. And 52 revocation of registration. 53 appeal. 54 act not to apply to institutions established or maintained by central or state government. And 55 assistance to registered institutions. These are the 7 areas or 7 sections you have to just discuss in next. First, 49th section. What is competent authority? How it is established? The state government is required to appoint an authority with the necessary ability. Who the person? The qualifications are ability, knowledge and skills to perform the function of registration of institutions. ఖచ్చితంగా వాళ్ళలో ఆ ఎబిలిటీస్ ఉండాలి కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీ. సో అలాంటి ఏంటంటే ఎబిలిటీ ఉండాలి. ఆ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కి సంబంధించి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కి ఏవేవి ఉండాలి, అప్లికేషన్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, వాటి ఆ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఆ నామ్స్ అన్నింటినీ కూడా ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేస్తుందా లేదా, అప్లికేషన్ లో అవన్నీ కూడా వాళ్ళు ఇంక్లూడ్ చేశారా లేదా, ఏ సందర్భంలో దాన్ని క్యాన్సిల్ చేయొచ్చు, ఏ సందర్భంలో దాన్ని అప్రూవ్ చేయొచ్చు, ఇలాంటి అన్ని విషయాల మీద కూడాను ఆ కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీకి కన్సర్న్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉండాలి, ఎబిలిటీ ఉండాలి. అలాంటి వాళ్ళని స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ అనేది కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీగా నియమిస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్. ఈ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అంటే ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ఎలా? అసలు రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ఒకసారి చూడండి. ఏ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ అసలు రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేసుకోవడం అవసరం లేదు అని కూడా ఇక్కడ చూడండి. An institution can be established and maintained for the welfare of persons with disabilities. If it has been registered under the RPWD Act and it has obtained a certificate by the above mentioned authority. ఆ సర్టిఫికెట్స్ మనం రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కోసం సర్టిఫికెట్ పెట్టేటప్పుడు అప్లై చేసేటప్పుడు ఆ నామ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా ఫుల్ఫిల్ అయితే రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అయితే those institutions which have been set up for the care of mentally ill and license under the Mental Health Care Act 2017. Mental Health Care Act 2007 లో కానీ లేదా అదర్ యాక్ట్స్ ద్వారా కానీ ఆల్రెడీ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అయినటువంటి వాటికి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది పర్టికులర్ గా ఇక్కడ అవసరం లేదు. The institutions are exempted from the requirement of registration. All other institutions which are worked on the persons with disabilities are must register. మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఖచ్చితంగా రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది చేసుకోవాలి. నెక్స్ట్ 51 ఇక్కడ అప్లికేషన్ అన్నారు. అప్లికేషన్ లో ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి అనేది అప్లికేషన్ గురించి చెప్తుంది. సో అప్లికేషన్ లో ఇట్ షుడ్ బి స్పెసిఫైడ్ ఫార్మ్. ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక ఫార్మేట్ మీరు నెట్ లో కొడితే ఆ ఫార్మేట్ కూడా మనకి అవైలబుల్ గా దొరుకుతుంది. ఆల్రెడీ నేను చూసాను, అవకాశం ఉంటే పెడతాను. స్పెసిఫైడ్ ఫార్మేట్ లో ఉంటుంది అప్లికేషన్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ప్రాసెస్. నెక్స్ట్, అథారిటీ will find out if the applicant has followed all the provisions and rules. Competent authority should verify ఆ ప్రొవిజన్స్ అన్ని కూడా వారు ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేశారా లేదా, అంటే అప్లికేషన్ లో నింపారా లేదా, అలాగే అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం నిజంగా ఉన్నాయా లేదా అనేది వెరిఫై చేస్తారు. Grant the certificate within a period of 90 days. 90 days లోపల గ్రాంట్ చేస్తారు. నెక్స్ట్, can refuse కూడా చేయొచ్చు, కానీ రిఫ్యూజ్ చేసే ముందు వాళ్ళకి ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఇవ్వాలి. ఎందుకు రిఫ్యూజ్ చేయకూడదు? మనం రిఫ్యూజ్ అంటే అథారిటీ అనేది రిఫ్యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు రిజిస్ట్రేషన్, కానీ రిఫ్యూజ్ చేసే ముందు కన్సర్న్డ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ కి ఒక అవకాశం ఇవ్వాలి. వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు రిఫ్యూజ్ చేయకూడదు చెప్పే అవకాశం వాళ్ళకి ఇవ్వాలి. The certificate of registration will be provided only if the institutions is in a position to provide facilities and meet the standards that have been prescribed by the state government. State government norms ప్రకారం వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే కలిగి ఉన్నారో ఆ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ లో ఆ ప్రొవిజన్స్, మెటీరియల్ కానీ ప్రమాణాలు అన్నీ కూడా ఉంటేనే రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది జరుగుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్, ఎంతవరకు ఉంటుంది సర్టిఫికేట్? ఇట్ రిమైన్ ఇన్ ఫోర్స్ సర్టెన్ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ పీరియడ్. ఆ తర్వాత ఖచ్చితంగా రెన్యూ చేయించాలి. పర్టికులర్ గా కొంత టైం అనేది ఇస్తారు, దాని తర్వాత అది రెన్యూ చేయాలి. బిఫోర్ ద వ్యాలిడిటీ ఆఫ్ ద సర్టిఫికేట్ ఎక్స్పైర్స్. సర్టిఫికేట్ ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోతే డేట్ ఉంటుంది కదా, మనకి సర్టిఫికేట్ డేట్, రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ సర్టిఫికేట్ డేట్ ఉంటుంది ఎప్పుడు ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోతుంది. సో ఆ ఎక్స్పైరీ డేట్ కి బిఫోర్ 60 days మళ్ళీ రెన్యువల్ ప్రాసెస్ అనేది స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి. అట్లీస్ట్ 60 days. నెక్స్ట్, తర్వాత సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడాను ఎక్కడ పెట్టాలి? ఆ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ లో అందరికీ కనిపించే ప్రదేశంలో సర్టిఫికేట్ ని హ్యాంగ్ చేయాలి. వర్క్ చేయొచ్చు, రేపు చేయొచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్, ఒకవేళ క్యాన్సిల్ అయింది సర్టిఫికేట్ తాలూకా రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అయినా కూడా అది ఎలా అంటే ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అనేది ఫంక్షన్ అవ్వచ్చా లేదా అనే విషయాన్ని 52 లోని ఫంక్షనింగ్ ఆఫ్టర్ క్యాన్సిలేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద సర్టిఫికేట్ అనే ఒక సబ్సెక్షన్. అందులో ఏంటంటే ద ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ మస్ట్ స్టాప్ ఫంక్షనింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద డేట్ ఆఫ్ క్యాన్సిలేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద సర్టిఫికేట్. The institution must stop functioning from the date of cancellation of the certificate. ఒకవేళ క్యాన్సిలేషన్ జరిగితే అప్పటి నుంచి కూడా వెంటనే ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అనేది ఫంక్షన్ ఆపాలి. మరి ఏం చేయాలి? పిల్లల్ని ఎక్కడికి పంపించాలి? ఏం చేయాలి చెప్పండి, ఏమైనా ఊహించైనా చెప్పండి. ఎస్, అంతే. రెండు ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఒకటి వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి పంపించాలి, లేదు అనుకుంటే ఇంకొక రిజిస్టర్డ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ కి మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళని ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడం. ఈ రెండు ఉంటాయి. అపీల్ 53 సెక్షన్ అపీల్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతుంది. అపీల్ ఎందుకు చేసుకోవాలి? What is the importance of appeal? చెప్పండి, దేనికైనా అపీల్ ఎందుకు చేసుకుంటాం? If the institution see that the competent authority అనేది సరైన కారణాలు లేకుండానే సర్టిఫికెట్ ని క్యాన్సిల్ చేయడం కానీ లేదా రిఫ్యూజ్ చేయడం కానీ చేసింది అని ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ భావించినప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారు? అపీల్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇన్ కేస్ an institution is dissatisfied with the instructions of competent authority, then they can appeal. When a person is not satisfied with the order of the authority responsible for the refusal or cancellation of a certificate, he may file an appeal on authority. Okay. Next, last two sections, that is 54 and 55. The 54th section, act not to apply to institutions established or maintained by central or state government. What is the meaning? What is the idea of this section? Anyone? Yes, already registration ఉన్నటువంటి particular గా state central government ద్వారా నిర్వహించబడుతున్నటువంటి సంస్థలకి మళ్ళీ ప్రత్యేకంగా రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది అవసరం లేదు. Nothing contained with this chapter shall apply to an institution for persons with disabilities established stated central government. Okay, and the last section of this chapter, assistance to registered institutions. Assistance to registered. What infrastructure, training programs, especially financial support, assistance to registered institutions. Financial support and training programs, financial support, registered so that they may be able to provide services and implement the schemes and programs. Okay, these are the seven sections in this 9th chapter. Okay, so can anyone please stand up and what is the summary of this section? ఎవరైనా ఒకరు నిల్చుని ఈ 9th చాప్టర్లో మనం ఇప్పుడు చెప్పుకున్నటువంటి ఈ 7 సెక్షన్లో ఏంటి దేని గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాము అనేది ఒకసారి చెప్పండి. ఎవరైనా అది చెప్తే మనం నెక్స్ట్ సెక్షన్ వెళ్ళిపోతాం. ఎస్ సో దీంట్లో మనకి ఏంటంటే రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేయడానికి ఒక కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీ స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ చేత అపాయింట్ చేయబడతాయి. ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళు నామ్స్ అన్ని కూడా చూసి ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ పెట్టుకున్నటువంటి సర్టిఫికేట్ని వెరిఫై చేసి అలాగే ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో ఉండే ప్రాసెస్ అన్నింటినీ కూడా వెరిఫై చేసి అది సరిపోతుందా లేదా, అన్ని ఫెసిలిటీస్ ఉన్నాయా లేదా, రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ చేయొచ్చా లేదా అని ఆలోచించి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఇస్తారు. సో రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత ఆ సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడాను ప్రిస్క్రైబ్డ్ ఫార్మాట్ లో ఉండాలి. ఒకసారి ఎన్ని రోజులన్నా ప్రాసెస్. ఒకవేళ క్యాన్సిల్ అయితే రెన్యువల్ చేయడానికి రెన్యువల్ కి 60 డేస్ బిఫోర్ రెన్యువల్ కి అప్లై చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, ఒకవేళ క్యాన్సిల్ ఏదైనా కారణాల చేత అథారిటీ క్యాన్సిల్ చేస్తే దానికి ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ వాళ్ళకి నచ్చకపోతే అది సరైన కారణాలు కావు అని వాళ్ళు భావిస్తే వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ అప్లై చేసుకోవచ్చు, అపీల్ చేయవచ్చు. ఆ తర్వాత కొన్ని ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ కి రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అవసరం లేదు. ముఖ్యంగా కేంద్ర రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాల ద్వారా సంస్థలకు రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అవసరం లేదు. అప్పీల్ ఎవరు చేయాలి? ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ వాళ్ళు. కాంపిటెంట్ అథారిటీ అథారిటీకే మళ్ళీ అప్పీల్ చేయవచ్చు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ we have to go the another chapter. క్లాస్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్లో చెప్పారు, అందుకని దాన్ని మనం టచ్ చేయలేదు. ఇందులో చాప్టర్ 11 కాదు, అయితే This chapter provides for setting up of a central advisory board at national level. National level లో సెంట్రల్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డు ఎలా ఉంటుంది, అందులో సభ్యులు ఎవరు ఉంటారు, తరచుగా పవర్స్ ఏంటి, ఫంక్షన్స్ ఏంటి, వాటన్నిటి గురించి కూడాను ఈ చాప్టర్. అలాగే నాట్ ఓన్లీ సెంట్రల్ advisory board but also state advisory board. సో ఇక్కడ సెంట్రల్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డ్ గురించి, స్టేట్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డ్ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడతాం. It provides a list of all persons who will be part of the board at the central and state. ఎవరెవరు సభ్యులుగా ఉంటారు, చైర్పర్సన్ ఎవరు, వైస్ చైర్పర్సన్ ఎవరు, మెంబర్స్ ఎవరు, నామినేటెడ్ పర్సన్స్ ఎవరు, వాటి గురించి మాట్లాడుతుంది. It describes the functions that are to be performed by the state and central advisory boards. What are the functions and what are the powers of these boards? Also, we have to discuss. And it prescribes the terms and conditions of service and disqualifications. What are the terms and conditions of the service? Service rules. Service rules గురించి కూడా మాట్లాడతాము. అలాగే who will be on this disqualifications for the members. అసలు members ఎవరు డిస్క్వాలిఫై అర్హులు కాదు అనే విషయం కూడా మనం ఒకసారి మాట్లాడతాం. ఇది 9th చాప్టర్, సారీ 11th. ఇందులో 14 ఉన్నాయి సెక్షన్స్. ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి? 68 నుంచి 83 వరకు ఉన్నాయి. 83 నా 73 ఒకసారి చూడండి. కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ సెంట్రల్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డ్ on disability. 60th section discussed with the Constitution of Central Advisory Board. And 61 section terms and conditions of service of members of Central Advisory Board. And 62 disqualifications of the members of Central Advisory Board. And 63 vacation of seats by members. And 64 meetings of the Central Advisory Board on disability. And 65 functions of Central Advisory Board on disability. And 66 state advisory board. Starts. And 65 వరకు కూడా Central Advisory Board. 66 నుంచి స్టేట్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డ్. 67 terms and conditions of service of members. 68 disqualification as in the central advisory board. Central advisory board లో ఎలా ఉంటాయో అన్ని సేమ్ ఇక్కడ రిపీట్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట స్టేట్ అడ్వైజరీ బోర్డ్ లో కూడా. సో terms and conditions, disqualification, vacation of seats, meetings, functions ఎంత వరకు 61 వరకు. సారీ 70 వరకు.
మీరు 10 నిమిషాలు ఆపండి. It's an important topic, Amma. What is the transformation of RPWD 2016? What is the transformation? How the RPWD transformed into a vibrant one. That's an eminent assistant professor from RNE Mysore. Her presentation is also very nice. PPT is also very clear. But how the Madam, ready, madam. Good morning and welcome. Here, about 45 members are here, madam. Yes. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
So I have shared a form link with you. Is the link been shared to the participants?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
How should I go ahead?
Just
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
see your mobiles. There is a link for your test. Okay. ఓకే గూగుల్ ఫామ్ కూడా ఉంటుందండి ఈ రెండింటిని లింక్ చేసుకోండి లింక్ చేసుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది ఓకే మేడం
Hello.
ఆ లింక్ ఆల్సో షేర్డ్ మేడం
Sir.
డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వస్తుందని నేను డిస్టర్బెన్స్ రెండు ఫోన్లు ఎప్పుడు చేసినా బాగా
ఓకే మేడం ప్లీజ్ మేడం రెడీ మేడం ప్లీజ్ మేడం we go on.
కరెక్ట్ అవుతుంది
మనం రెడీగా ఉన్నాం మేడం గారు
నేను చేస్తారు మేడం, అది చేస్తున్నారు. ఓకే ఓకే ఇట్స్ ఎ ప్రీ టెస్ట్. ఓకే గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్.
చూడు లింక్ ఓపెన్ అవ్వలేదు దీంట్లో.
చేస్తారా? చేసేస్తే మళ్ళీ మేడం చెప్పేస్తే మనం రెడీ అయిపోతాం. 5 minutes టైం, ఆ తర్వాత ఆపేస్తారు. నెక్స్ట్ కూడా అంతే, ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ ది టెస్ట్ ఎనదర్ మళ్ళీ 5 minutes ఇస్తారు. ఆ 10 minutes మీరు కంప్లీట్ చేస్తే అది అసెస్మెంట్. బి అటెంటివ్. No problem, madam. Makes it bilingual. Most of the times, better use Telugu because all the participants are from Telugu background. Yes. అవుట్లేదా? రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. తప్పకుండా చూడు, ఇది రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు అంటే ఆన్సర్స్. మీ మీద ఉంటుంది కదా. అవుతుందా? అయిపోయిన వాళ్ళు సబ్మిట్ చేసేసేది. ఏదైనా అర్థం కాకపోతే అడగండి. ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఉంది కాబట్టి తెలుగులోకి ఏమైనా మీకు కావాలంటే నేను ట్రాన్స్లేట్. ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్సర్ అడగండి. వాట్ రిజర్వేషన్ డస్ PWD mandate for persons with higher education institutions?
సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్
అయితే కదా చేసేసండి, పర్వాలేదు. ఇది ఓన్లీ ప్రీ టెస్ట్ కాబట్టి నెక్స్ట్ పోస్ట్ టెస్ట్లో మార్చమని చెప్తాను.
కాన్ఫరెన్స్ ఫస్ట్ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు
ఓకే మేడం గారికి అన్ని క్లోజ్ చేసి అమ్మా పెట్టేసేయండి ఫోన్లు పెట్టేసేయండి లోపల పెట్టేయండి ఫోన్లు ప్లీజ్ ఫోన్ పెట్టేయండి రైట్ ఓకే మేడం ఇట్స్ ఓవర్ మేడం ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆడియో రావట్లేదు మీరు మాట్లాడద్దు
If I am audible to all of you, please raise your hand if I am audible. Thank you so much. Now I take the distraction. Yeah, thank you so much for the response. So today we are going to discuss about the objective of this particular presentation is we are going to discuss about how PWD Act was formed and what are the PWD Act and why is it being changed to RPWD Act? What was the message? PWD Act 1995 రాష్ట్రంలో దాన్ని RPWD ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేశారు అనేది ఆ విషయం గురించి మనం మెయిన్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ కూడా దాని గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. నాట్ ఆడిబుల్ ఎవరైనా పిక్చర్స్ వస్తే కనుక ఆన్లైన్ కదా ప్లీజ్ రైస్ చేయండి హ్యాండ్ నేను రైస్ చేస్తాను. మన ఇండియన్ పాపులేషన్ ప్రకారం ఇప్పుడు the slides, raise your hand please, the slides. Thank you.
మా రైట్ సైడ్ మీరు
Right passage करेगा.
స్లైడ్ కనిపించలేదు కనిపించలేదు అయితే నేను నా షేర్ కనిపిస్తుందండి స్లైడ్ కనిపిస్తుందండి చేయండి కనిపిస్తుంది థ్యాంక్ యూ నౌ ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హియర్ యూ కెన్ సీ ఇట్ నౌ రైట్ మన ఇండియాలో పాపులేషన్ ఎంటైర్ పాపులేషన్ లో PWD యాక్ట్ ప్రకారం మనకి 2.21% ఆఫ్ పాపులేషన్ ఇస్ డిజేబుల్డ్ పాపులేషన్. PWD యాక్ట్ లో ఎన్ని డిజేబిలిటీస్ పెట్టారంటే దే హావ్ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ 7 disabilities. 7 disabilities they do not consider as disabilities only. Within these 7 disabilities, when we see it is 2.21% of population in India is considered to be disabled. In that, around 2.21 were male and 2.01 were female. This is according to 2011 census. Now, for catering to the needs of these individuals, there were several legislations made in our according to our law. Some legislations said that initially they were homebound, they were segregated, vidiga pettevaru, then they were segregated. Later on, some of the Christian missionaries and some society, కొంతమంది ముందుకు వచ్చి they started caring people, started caring model or charity model. Then slowly moved on and we have come up with a plan for the PWD plan, where the needs of these individuals were just according to their medical needs and according to their but మన మెడికల్ నీడ్స్ ఏమున్నాయో వాళ్ళకి ఏం కావాలి వాళ్ళకి They said it is not sufficient if we address their needs or if we give them charity support or something like that. They have defined the disability totally different. The UNCR video India science India science checked and చూస్తున్నారు మనకి చూస్తున్నారు how many groups we are in everyday అనేది చూస్తున్నారు. చూసుకుని they have said that they have feel that they were not lacking which have been reached. So they have signed this UNCR and topic, an amendment of that. Now, why did they come up with this amendment act? Because UNCRPD defines disability in a different way. Previously, disability was defined with respect to the inability of the individual to do some function. And ఏదైనా చేయడానికి కాకపోతే కనుక దాని డిజబిలిటీ అనేవారు. But now in UNCRPD we have defined that the results from the interaction between persons with impairments and attitude. Now they have also included the social aspect, attitude, and how the public are reacting to these persons with disability. Not only public, even we, you and all, right? Whenever we say, either we sympathize them or we start giving some suggestions to them. We don't really look into what is their need and how to address their needs. So the UNCRPD has defined this like impairments and attitudinal and environmental barriers. It has to be underlined. Attitudinal and environmental barriers may affect point why we have moved on RPWD Act. So it is just not a medical model, but it is a medico-social model, or it's not a medico-social model. So it is anything which is caused influence for anything. And it is called as disability according to UNCRPD. Right? Now, it has further described the disability. It has said that disability is involving concept, it is dynamic in nature, and it is a biopsychosocial model. Now, just now we have discussed what is biopsychosocial model. So, in disability, we just need to give them medication or we just need to support them. But now they have made it mandatory that they have to involve them in these people in each and every activity of the society, and they have to be productive individuals of the society. So, following these definitions, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, they have formed a department called the Department of Persons with Disabilities. The department is officer, and this department, it has ratified with the UNCRPD, and there was a paradigm shift. They have shifted from the social, the charity model to welfare and human rights model. They have shifted from PWD to RPWD in 2000. This is the basic background why we have shifted from PWD to RPWD. The first thing is PWD was addressing only the needs of individuals, not addressing at the social level. And RPWD is a biopsychosocial model addressing at the social level. That is the reason we have shifted from PWD to RPWD. And because we want these individuals also to work like us, these individuals also to be benefited, and they should be productive individuals of the society. This is the basic background. Now the new legislation, RPWD, that is Rights of Persons with Disability Act 2016, was replaced instead of Persons with Disability Act 1995. Now let's see how these things have changed actually. Initially, it was a charity model where people were homebound and they were given all the food, clothing, everything. Slowly, they made it as a biocentric model. Where biocentric model is a model where they wanted the people to take some medication and they get to the normal state. They emphasize on normalization to medical intervention. Medicines to therapies to normalization, irrespective of their capabilities. Severe disability of that, medicines, so it is a condition, not possible. So that's the difference between disability and disease. Disease can be cured, whereas disability are conditions. Many of these disabilities cannot be cured. So, e-model was not much important. Then they came to the functional model, where the entitlement to rights were given. But again, the human rights model totally ensured that these people should be the productive individuals of the society. So now let's see some of the few aspects of rights of persons with disability Act 2008. ఇక్కడ నేను ఒకటి చెప్పదలుచుకున్నాను ఏంటంటే మనం ఈ యాక్ట్ లో చాలా ఉన్నాయి. మీకు సెక్షన్స్ వేశారు, నేను షెడ్యూల్ అంతా చూశాను, చాలా అద్భుతంగా వేశారు సార్. ఆ సెక్షన్స్ లో మీకు డీటెయిల్ గా చెప్తారు ఏ సెక్షన్స్ లో ఏమి ఉన్నాయి. ఇక్కడ మాత్రం మనం ఆర్పిడబ్ల్యూడి యాక్ట్, పీడబ్ల్యూడి యాక్ట్ నుంచి భిన్నంగా ఉండేది ఏ సెక్షన్ లో కొంచెం భిన్నంగా ఉంది అనేది మాత్రం మనం ఇక్కడ చూస్తున్నాం. నాట్ అడ్రసింగ్ ఆల్ ద సెక్షన్, we are addressing only those sections which are a little different or which have an advancement or which have some improvement in the section with respect to PWD Act. That is what we are going to see. Now this RPWD Act, Parliament revised its assent of the President on 27th of December 2016. In this Act, there are 102 sections which are divided across 17 chapters. You might have seen in your schedule. And it came into enforcement on 19th of April 2017. And central rules were drafted and notified on 15th June 2017. And disability assessment guidelines were drafted and notified to the respective centers and states by 5th January 2018. By 5th January 2018, everything was implemented. Policy was implemented. What were the principles which were kept in goal in my 8 months of the RPWD Act? Respect for inherent dignity, individual autonomy, including the freedom to make one's own choice and independence of persons. So వీళ్ళకి మనకి ఎలా రెస్పెక్ట్ ఇస్తున్నారు సొసైటీలో, వీళ్ళంతా అలాగే రెస్పెక్ట్ ఇవ్వాలి. వాళ్ళని వాళ్ళ పని చేసుకునేందుకు వదిలిపెట్టాలి, వాళ్ళ చాయిస్ వాళ్ళు డిసైడ్ చేసుకునేందుకు వదిలిపెట్టాలి. ఒకటి దృక్పథం. నెక్స్ట్ నాన్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్. దే షుడ్ నాట్ బి డిస్క్రిమినేటెడ్ అదర్ పబ్లిక్ దట్ దే ఆర్ డిజేబుల్డ్ ఆర్ దే కెనాట్ డూ సంథింగ్. ఇఫ్ దే ఆర్ కేపబుల్ ఆఫ్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్, దే బికమ్ ఆన్ దేర్ full and effective participation and inclusion in society. They should be included completely with us. Respect for differences and acceptance of persons with disability as a part of human diversity and humanity. So these and there are 8 points. Equality of opportunity. Now they are also saying an equity of opportunity. There is slight difference. Equity of opportunity and the difference between equality and equity is equality అంటే సమంగా పంచడం, ఈక్విటీ అంటే కేపబిలిటీస్ ప్రకారం పంచడం. ఉదాహరణ చెప్పాలంటే మనం మహాభారతంలో తీసుకున్నట్టయితే మనకి పంచపాండవులు భోజనం తీసుకొస్తే అడవి నుంచి కుంతిమాత దాన్ని సగభాగాన్ని భీముడికి ఇచ్చి మిగతా సగభాగాన్ని మిగతా నలుగురిని పంచిపెట్టింది. ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as equity principle. Why Bhima needs more? That is why it is called as equity principle. Accessibility. This is one more principle. ఎంత accessible గా ఉన్నాయి వాళ్ళకి. Government buildings ఉండనివ్వండి, schools ఉండనివ్వండి, how accessible these buildings are, how friendly they are, how disabled friendly they are అనేది ఒక. Then equity between men and women, not only men and women, they have also talked about the clothing capacities of children. So these are the 8 principles they have borne in mind by crafting this particular RPWD Act. Now let's see some of the like this definition of disability according to RPWD Act. So according to RPWD Act, the definition of disability is it's a person with long-term physical, mental, intellectual, and sensory impairment. Interaction with barriers hinders its full or effective participation in society equally with others. ఇక్కడ మనకి లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ఫిజికల్, మెంటల్, ఇంటెలెక్చువల్ అండ్ సెన్సిటివ్ ఇంపాక్ట్ అన్నారు. లాంగ్ టర్మ్ అనే దానికి దే హ్యావ్ నాట్ గివెన్ ఎనీ డెఫినేషన్. అక్కడ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ అంటే 1 సంవత్సరమా, 6 నెలల, 7 నెలల. RPWD యాక్ట్లో ఇవ్వలేదు. వాళ్ళు ఈ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ అనే పదాన్ని రెస్పెక్టివ్ స్టేట్ కి వదిలిపెట్టారు, వాళ్ళు డిసైడ్ చేసుకుని. The definition for RPWD Act included not only physical, mental and intellectual, it also included barriers, that is environmental barriers. Now when they say barriers, what does that mean? It means any factor including communicational, cultural, emotional, environmental, institutional, political, social, attitudinal or structural factors which hamper the full and effective participation of the person with disability in society. So if barriers and it always need not be physical barrier, building ramp there, so it is a barrier and another. Can be communicational barrier also. Like if an unified child is in the classroom and the teacher is not able to child in his mother tongue, that is sign language or network communication, or convey the information through any modality, technological modality, then it is a barrier for the child to learn. In the same way, cultural and emotional. There are several cultural barriers, like in many customs, many of our Indian customs, not be sent out after 16 years, after puberty. So these are all cultural barriers. So there are all these barriers are included in RPWD Act, which were not spelled out in RPWD Act. Very specific. The barriers and the barriers and the Asian specific RPWD Act. Then we have the 2L section. We have the 2L, where it states high support, which means intensive support, physical, psychological or otherwise, which may be required by a person with benchmark disability for daily activities to take independent and informed decision, to access facilities and participating in all areas of life, including government, family and community life and treatment. Now here benchmark disability and the person who is having more than 40%, equal to or more than 40% disability, we call it as benchmark. Now, above this percentage, some people may need high support. So RPWD Act is very specifically spelled out that these people who need a support should be provided. If they are not provided with the supports required, whether in educational wise or whether in their daily routine activities, if this support is not, then it is offensive. It says that. Then the 2R, which says that persons with benchmark disability means a person with not less than 40% of specified disability. That also it has specified very clearly. Benchmark disability and the Indian chala clearly specified RPWD Act, which was not there. And in PWD Act, we had only 7 disabilities identified and certified. But now it is increased to 21 categories of disability. Everybody categories is there. 57 disabilities PWD Act. RPWD 21 categories is there. 21 categories, 7 to 21. 21 categories list is there. Blindness, low vision, deafness person, low motor disability, autism, intellectual disabilities, mental illness, autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, chronic neurological conditions, specific learning disabilities, multiple sclerosis, speech and language disabilities, thalassemia, hemophilia, sickle cell disease, multiple disabilities, accident, attack, reflex and Parkinson's disease. These are the 21 you can take it with you. I am saying to take it with you. Guide faculty, you have to train your teachers under your lectures. There are so many teachers who are not knowing that these are the 21 disabilities today, now in the act. Recently, there has been a mission system. I had 2 clients, like they were children with learning disability. The learning disability is included now in these 21 disabilities. But these disabilities, the teachers did not know specific learning disabilities. Here you can see there. specific learning disabilities. So the teachers did not know. Those two children were studying in one school. Till 9th class, they were encouraging. They used to pay a high amount of donations and all. Parents were also happy, but later on when they came to 10th class, in the middle of 10th class, at the 10th class, various school children. They said that we are not going to send them to school exam and we will quit them from the school. Please tell what various school children. Meanwhile, problem the parents problem. They came running. I was working at Irish at that time, or Indian Institute of Teacher here. But the tutor parents to sir, but learning again, we have sent a written letter saying that learning disability is also a difficulty, has to be certified and sent for evaluation. Teachers did not accept. They were legally, they fought the case in the mother. That is the difference. It happened recently after 2019. It happened recently after the amendment of the rules, implement of the rules that is RPWDI. So teachers should be knowing which all come under the certification zone and where all they can help children. So that's why I ask you to know these things. Now we will go to some specific sections which speak a little about little more than the PWD Act. First is the section 5, which talks about live in the community. That is, full participation of the individuals is talked about. Social model is talked about. Then section 6, which talks about protections from cruelty and inhuman treatment. Again, I would like to quote one thing. Nowadays, I don't know whether it still exists in Telangana, but కొన్ని చోట్ల చూస్తామండి పిల్లలకి మెంటల్ రిటార్డేషన్ వచ్చింది లేదా పిల్లలకి మెంటల్ ఇల్నెస్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో ఇంక్లూడెడ్ ఇన్ ది RPWD యాక్ట్. ఈ వీటిలో ఏదైనా వచ్చింది చిట్టి ముదిరింది అనగానే ఉద వైద్యుల దగ్గరికి బాధలు పెట్టిస్తారు వేడి ఇనుము దిక్తో. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద వెరీ క్రూయల్ అండ్ బ్యాడ్. Do they feel that it's a child, these people will right? So these things have to be avoided. So this section 6 speaks about the protection from cruelty and inhuman treatment. Again, this is spelled very clearly in section 6. It was not spelled so clearly in PWD. Now section 7. Section 7 speaks about the protection from abuse, violence, exploitation, complaints, executive magistrate to judicial magistrate, legal aids and all. So they have all right. If someone abuses them or someone exploits them, they have all right to go to the law or seek the help of law and take justice. That's what is spelled out in section 7. Now they have their own codes. That is also being mentioned in RPWD. Section 8. It speaks about equal protection and safety in situation of risks, armed conflict, humanitarian emergencies and natural disasters. So whatever risk factors are there, whatever protections the normal people are getting, similar way protections have to be given to these people also. They should not be, for example, I would like to say that there is a crippled child, quadriplegic, లాగా ముందులాగా ముందుగా పట్టుకొని భూకంపం వచ్చింది, బిల్డింగ్ మీద పడింది, అందరినీ తీసుకున్నాడు. ఆ పిల్లడి తర్వాత పిల్లలు ఎందుకంటే ఎలాగో ట్రిపుల్ గానే ఉన్నాడు, వాడు ఉంటే ఎందుకు అమలుతో ఉన్నవాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు. కానీ ప్రొటెక్టెడ్ అనేది ఒక లా పెట్టారు ఇక్కడ సెక్షన్ 8 లో. సెక్షన్ 9 స్పీక్స్ అబౌట్ నో చైల్డ్ విత్ డిసేబిలిటీ షల్ బి సెపరేటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ హిస్ ఆర్ హర్ పేరెంట్స్ ఆన్ ద గ్రౌండ్స్ ఆఫ్ డిసేబిలిటీ. కొన్నిసార్లు ఏమవుతుందంటే either of the parents they are mentally ill. Mental retardation వేరు, mental illness వేరు. Retardation అంటే IQ. సో mental illness ఉన్నది, అది కూడా ఒక కండిషన్. RPWD యాక్ట్ లో కంట్రోల్ సీరియల్ ఇల్నెస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు పిల్లల్ని పేరెంట్స్ కన్సర్న్ లేకుండా పిల్లల్ని పేరెంట్స్ కి దూరంగా తీసుకుంటారు. Parents should give the consent. Similar situation had happened wherein when the parent was mentally ill, the child was being adopted by another family. Then the parent became normal. Like mental illness can be cured. Several mental illnesses like severe schizophrenia and all can be cured with medication. So, that case, the parent was normal and she fought back to get her child. That legally she had to birth. So, without the permission of the parents, they are disabled. They should not separate the child from the parent. That is one thing which is spelled out very clearly in RPWDI. And in section 10, no person with disability shall be subjected to any medical procedure which leads to infertility without his or her free and informed consent. అంటే డిజేబుల్డ్ పర్సన్ ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారంటే పీపుల్ ఉన్నారంటే వాళ్ళ కన్సల్ట్ లేకుండా మనం వాళ్ళకి హిస్టెక్టమీ చేయించడం కానీ లేకపోతే అబార్షన్ చేయించడం కానీ చేయకూడదు. Similar case was fought by Chitra Srivastava in Mumbai. I'm sorry, Chandigarh. This is a case where Chitra Srivastava was a child with an individual with mental retardation. Sexual abuse ayyindi. 7-8 people have done that. So in her hostel, the hostel warden got to know that she was pregnant. The medical people, they are suggested to abort it, saying that she doesn't understand about motherhood and how to take care of the child. What happened? Finally, they moved to court, and concerned authorities from higher authorities from the retardation background and autism background were called. And when she insisted that she wanted to retain the pregnancy, they let her go with the petition. The consent was taken and they let her go with the petition. And she got a baby. The baby was named as Spike. So now the baby is around 11 years old and it's a normal baby and taking care of the mother. Situation without their consent is just one example I'm telling. Without the consent of the individual who is having mental retardation or mental illness or any sort of disability, any procedure should not be done which causes their infertility. Recently, one brother came to saying that we will get her done because she is not in a position to she is not in a position to take care of herself or during the periods time and all. That was the complaint. But this will cause lot of other problems for the individual that they have to understand. So we have counseled them and sent them back to train the child for functional skills. Then section 11 talks about access, all polling stations, technological access and visibility friendly access. So it is just not creating ramps and railings in the building, but it is access to everything what are we are acting, like going to a bank, going to a post office. So it is accessible for them. Now we are having, recently you might have seen, I don't know whether all over India it is been done. The persons with disability and persons who are elderly persons, they were asked to poll from home to online. So such facilities have to be created. That is what the section 11 speaks about. They have all rights to avail their franchise. Section 12 speaks about access to justice, access to court, assisting equipment, personnel, methods, means, technologies, and documents. So whenever they ask for all these things, whenever they want to go to a court regarding some issue, or whenever they want a government personnel to help them out regarding certain issues, it has to be done mandatorily. If it is not done, it is an offense. And legal capacity to own or inherit property, movable or immovable, control their financial efforts and have access to bank loans and other forms of financial credit. They have the legal capacity. Here it goes with section 14. Section 13 goes with section 14. They have their own rights without the consent of the person with disability. No one can take their property, their financial, whatever the results they are having, no one can take it. It has to be taken only in concert with the person with disability. Now we may take it down saying that these people, they are really retarded, how can they take decision? So the law has come up with section 14 which calls for provision for guardianship. Like two types they have mentioned, which is not there in PWD Act. They have mentioned as limited guardianship and total guardianship. Limited guardianship means in concern with the guardian and in concern with the person with disability, both of them together they will take a joint decision. They will consult each other, the guardian and the parent and child with disability or individual. In total guardianship, it's also called as proxy-based decision making, where if the individual is not able to by any chance take his or her own decision because of severe disability, చాలా disability ఉంది, వాళ్ళు అసలు డెసిషన్ చేసుకునే స్థితిలోనే నేను క్రిటికల్ కండిషన్ లో ఉన్నారన్న ప్రాక్సీ బేస్డ్ డెసిషన్ మేకింగ్ అని తీసుకోవాలి. అది కూడా ఎలా అంటే లీగల్ గా అంతా ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేసి this person is not able to take her own decisions on their behalf, we as guardians we are taking it. Legal గా ప్రొసీడ్ అయ్యి డెసిషన్స్ తీసుకోవాలి. వాళ్ళంతా వాళ్ళు పేరెంట్స్ cannot take their behalf regarding property or regarding their marriage or anything which is the individual. This is very clearly spelled out in RPWD. Now coming to 32(1), all governmental institutions at higher education level, they should have 5% reservation for these individuals. Every institution, higher education and post-graduation and graduation institution, they should have 5% reservation for these individuals. And every child with benchmark disability, that is 40% disabilities between the age group of 16 to 18, should have the right for free education. We know our Free Education Act is there. It stands, it holds true and it stands true for these children also. Now, 34(1) also says that this is regarding the vocation. Governments shall appoint in every government sector. They should be establishing. They should be allocating 4% of reservation for these people for getting into their jobs. And in this 4%, classified as blindness and low vision is 1%, deaf and hard of hearing is 1%, locomotor disabilities, individuals with cerebral palsy, ability to talk become accident and victims, muscular dystrophy 1%. And the new one which is added, these 3% were also, these three are there in PWD Act. They are already there in PWD Act. One newly added is autism, intellectual disability, speech language disability, mental illness and multiple disabilities. So these are the 4%. So government shall appoint in every government establishment at least 4% should be reserved for these categories. This is the new one which is added in the RPWD Act, and the other 3% were already there in PWD. This is how it is split. This is reservation for disabled persons in government jobs has gone from 3% to 4%. Section 44, to build any structure disability friendly as per central government norms. Now, we may say that before RPWD Act only our building is built, so we do not have the structures required for them. Like we don't have ramps, we don't have railings, we don't have modified toilets for these people. Unfortunate. But again in section 45, they have given a time limit. This is not specified in PWD. At PWD, they have spelled it very clearly that there is a time limit of 5 years for every infrastructure. Every infrastructure should be made disability friendly structure. 5 years of time. If it is not, then it will be again within the given period of time. If it is not, then it is is again an offence and there will be action taken against him. Now, regarding the registration of institution. So, no person shall establish or maintain any institute for persons with disability except in accordance with certificate of registration issued in this behalf by the competent authorities. So either RPWD Act should apply or authority from Mental Health Act 1987 should be giving the certificate to the institution for opening their own center as entrepreneurs or opening their own charity centers. So without any intimation or without registration, if such centers are there, then it is a legal offence. So here we have, here in this particular statement you can see, the institution, if it is not registered under RPWD Act, especially the institutions for care of mentally ill persons, that is, you can see the mental hospitals and all, or charity centers which keep these mentally ill people. For them, the registration is done under Mental Health Act 1987. So either this act should register the or RPWD Act. It comes under RCA. RCA registration number they call it as RCA and the rehabilitation cost of it. Now the 54th amendment, it says that nothing contained in this chapter shall apply to an institution for person with disability established or maintained by the government or a state government. That means that whatever is there in the institution, like barrier-free environment and all, should be maintained, or else again it is a in chapter 10, it talks about the certification specified by the typically for disabled various disabilities. Here the certification, the central government shall notify guidelines for success of specific and to the extent of specific disability level. It's already done. So we have certain guidelines to assess these people and to evaluate and to mark them as high, low and severe under different categories, high, low and severe disabilities. And if it is above benchmark disability, then they are certified as specific. Now the authorities who are involved in their certification are at the central level, central and state advisory boards are there on disability and are to be constituted to perform various functions assigned under this Act. And Chief Commissioner and two of PWD are to be appointed by the central government at the central level of the for certification. Similarly, at the state commissioner for PWD are to be appointed by the state governments, and district level committees are to be constituted by the state government. Now, as diet category, you can check for each thing. If these are not as diet category, because you are meant for this. You can mention them. ఒక బోర్డులో సీట్లో కొన్ని అపాయింట్ అయ్యే పని జరగలేదు అంటే యూ కెన్ ఆర్ సో దేర్ షుడ్ బి ఎ సెంట్రల్ స్టేట్ టు చీఫ్ కమిషనర్ షుడ్ బి దేర్ స్టేట్ కమిషనర్ ఫర్ PWD షుడ్ బి దేర్ అండ్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ లెవెల్ కమిటీ షుడ్ బి and the certification rules are clearly specified in RPWD Act. The application form 4 is being given. For this, the individual has to provide a proof of residence, 2 recent size photographs and Aadhaar number or Aadhaar enrollment number has to be provided. The medical authorities, the signature from 2 medical authorities, 3 medical authorities have to be given. Competent medical authorities, that individual has to be certified by 3 government medical authorities, saying that he or she is having, the individual having more than 40% of it. Then only that certificate will be. The certification form you can see. Then the RPWD Act also spelled out about something called as the terminologies, what terminologies to be used and what terminologies are banned. So according to this act, intentionally or unintentionally or intentionally insulting or intimidates, like humiliating these people is an offense they have said. Previously they were calling mental retarded people. Now they have changed the terminology to intellectual deficit. So like this they have changed many terminologies. The terms also should not intentionally or unintentionally hurt these people. If they feel it is hurting them, then again the person who is using maybe like them, these words are not there. We call hearing impaired or person with hearing impaired. These are the terms which use now or in use now. So these are very clearly spelled out. And in section 90, it speaks about the misuse of disability certificate. Any person who is not disabled and is using this disability certificate for any reason, fake certificate is created, then it is again a legal offence. It may extend to 2 years of jail and with a huge fine. Usually it is 1 lakh and above. Sometimes it's both also. Then this one more thing which is very clearly spelled out in RPWD Act is special codes for these individuals with the concurrence of the Chief Justice of High Court. These codes have to be established in the ground floor and very accessible to these people. So if anybody, if the court or any personnel from the court are not able to take action for their needs, then again it is a legal offence. So the court has to address their needs. Special courts are made for them. Special public prosecutors are also there for them. That is what section to be there. Then we can just critical overall we can analyze critical analysis can be seen. Increased number of disability changes the prevalence rate. Now we have seen that there was a prevalence of 2.21% of disability. 7 disabilities identified in PWD. Now with the change of disabilities from 7 to 21, the RPWD Act has increased the number of disabilities, prevalence of disabilities. It goes approximately to 48% from 2.21%. There is ఉన్నప్పుడు మనకి 2.1% వరల్డ్ వైడ్ ఇండియా. అదే మనకి 21 disabilities ఐడెంటిఫై చేశారు అంటే 48% approximately. So may cause 10% of overpopulation and maybe will be disabled. Now I talked about worldwide scenario. Here it is when about Indian scenario, 10% overpopulation. Now when the population is increasing, definitely for giving giving them scholarships and all, we need them. We need funds, right? So social welfare funds are generated, and that would be again a big issue. And this is the Swalamban card, that is which creates the unique disability ID card, which is also set out in WP Act. This can be created online. You can see this is an online form. This is the address given. You can see over there. It is you are. The online card, and this is the address for the Swalamban card. UDID it is called as Unique Disability ID. So this is the timeline. The different acts from 20th century to the present, like within 20th century, 1912 mental health. Then Lunacy Act was there, then Factory Act was there, the National Institute of Visually Handicapped Act was there. Overriding all these, we got the PWD Act and then followed by RPWD Act long use. Now this is the PWD Act, what it's about. not getting into complete details. It has PWD Act talked about the key detection and identification, the education, empowerment, non-discrimination, research and backward development, affirmative action, social security, and grievance redressal. So nowhere it has mentioned about several aspects we have just now discussed. So those surveys and all it has been presented. I talked about all these things, so I'm just okay. So these are the 7 disabilities according to PWD Act, which includes PWD Act. So this is the main chart which shows the difference between PWD and RPWD. You can see that the model is medical model in PWD and RPWD is medical plus social model. The first is charity approach and in RPWD it is right-based approach. And it applies for the whole of India except in Jammu Kashmir in both the cases. It is definitions in PWD Act are very poorly defined, whereas in PWD Act it has taken into consideration the barriers, caregivers, persons with benchmark disability and all. So the definitions are very clearly given in PWD Act. Similarly, the definitions of mental health were restricted and narrowed in PWD Act, but with a detailed description of mental health and mental retardation, people mental is being given in PWD Act that we have discussed. Number of disabilities has increased from 7 to 21, and rights and entitlements mentioned, but they have mentioned about only. But a detailed description is being given in this regard in PWD Act. Limited guardians was not at all mentioned in PWD Act. In PWD Act, guardianship limitation was barrier-free environment was also not clearly mentioned. Architectural barriers in schools, public and workplace was only mentioned, whereas the attitudinal barriers and all other cultural barriers are also mentioned in PWD Act. Right for free education till 18 years it mentioned. Higher education it did not mention it. PWD Act mentioned that purpose has been given for this education. In education, it talked more of integration. PWD Act did not talk about inclusion, whereas in PWD speaks about inclusion. Rights in rights in higher education, age relaxation is mentioned. Number of years is not mentioned in PWD Act, but in the PWD Act it clearly mentioned that 5-year age relaxation in any higher education. The many documents were there in PWD Act which are required in PWD Act. The survey to identify and treat disabilities is not mentioned. How it has to be done, how these people have to be identified and addressed. Whereas in PWD Act it is mentioned very clearly. And job prospects were increased from 3% to 4%. PWD to RPWD. And chapter on offense and penalties was not at all mentioned in PWD Act. Social justice is not at all mentioned in PWD Act, whereas PWD Act clearly mentions how the specific redressal mechanisms are there and the quantum of punishments regarding the social justice. PWD Act. These are now what are the challenges in implementing this legislation, whether it is PWD or RPWD? These are the challenges. One is the social stigma. First is lack of awareness, we should say. Many people do not know that such a thing is there, available legally for them. So they don't approach. When they approach the professionals may not be knowing that such a thing. Just I have given an example of these two individuals about learning disability, right? Parents are also not aware and professionals are also not aware unless we told them that yes, this is there. So the lack of awareness, what facilities are there for them? Sometimes they have a certain stigma, they do not want to come out thinking that they will be cornered by the society. That is one thing they do not know, especially when they something like those happen. They do not come out because of social and resource constraint. Due to the lack of resources and financial capabilities, it's facing a lot of inadequate resources with respect to material resources as well as personal resources also. Like we do not have sufficient professionals who can address these issues. So these are the challenges and future directions and just talked about. We all have to join our hands to implement these legislations in a proper and enhancing way. These are my references. Yeah, any questions? You can give the link again. Formally. Hopefully it is faster because of time is waiting.
మళ్ళీ పోస్ట్ లింక్ పంపిస్తాము.
సేమ్ లింక్
ఆల్రెడీ ఇద్దరు పంపించారంట.
Yes. अंकित प्रशांत कुमार अंकित प्रशांत कुमार साइन చేయలేదండి
మళ్ళీ పోస్ట్ రాయాలమ్మా.
ఇప్పుడు ముందు మీరు చేసిన ముందు సార్ 1 minute సార్ అందరూ కూడా ఎలిమెంట్స్ కంట్రోల్ పెట్టండి. అలాగే నిన్న మీకు ఉన్నాయి సార్ సమాధానం వెనక నిన్న మీ సిఆర్ఆర్ నెంబరు నేమ్స్ ప్రింట్ చేసి ఒక పేపర్ ఇచ్చారు. రైట్ అందులో ఏమైనా కరెక్షన్ ఉందా? ఎందుకంటే సర్టిఫికేట్ అదే ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత సర్టిఫికేట్ ప్రింట్ చేసి
చెక్ చేసి
సార్ నేను మీ సంతకాలకి ఉంటే ఒకసారి అలా డౌట్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే నేను వెరిఫై చేస్తున్నాను. ఎవరో రమ్యాది తేడా ఉంటే మార్చారు. ఈ బ్రేక్ లో వెరిఫై చేసుకోండి. ప్రింట్ ఇవ్వకుండా అదే ఈ అబ్బాయి
అలా ఎవరైనా ఎమర్జెన్సీ ఏమైనా ఉంటేనే తప్ప మిగతా వాళ్ళకి వద్దు. పంజాబ్ నుండి కీర్తిక్ మహాజన్ అని తను చైల్డ్ ఫ్యామిలీ కౌన్సిలర్. అలాగే ఆఫ్టర్ గారు ఈ కౌన్సిల్ వేరేగా ట్రైన్ కూడా అవడం జరిగింది. వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బెస్ట్ మీరు తెలుగు రాదు, ఇంగ్లీష్లో తెలుగు కొద్దిగా రాదు, బట్ సాఫ్ట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీరు ఒక 5 minutes బ్రేక్ వెళ్ళొచ్చు. బ్రేక్ వెళ్ళొచ్చు.
రెడీగా ఉన్నారు. వేగం రామ్ మొబైల్ ఆడియో కూడా ఇందులో ఎవరైనా మోడిఫికేషన్ ఉంటే క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్స్ ఒకసారి పక్కన రాసేయండి. ఏదైనా మోడిఫికేషన్ Ma'am, 2 minutes, please wait. 2 minutes. Ma'am. Okay, okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Ma'am, 2 minutes, please wait. Okay, ma'am.
అదే మీరు చెక్ చేసుకున్నారు రైటర్ అన్న సరిపోయింది మీరు రాసి కరెక్ట్ కదా మీరు ఏది రాస్తారు
చెప్పావా? దానంతటిని మనం గూగుల్ షీట్ నుంచి ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ తెచ్చాము.
మీరందరూ ఎక్కడ స్పెషల్ స్పెషల్ ఇప్పుడు ఎంఐ తీసుకుంటే మ్యాక్సిమం అందరికీ వ్యాక్సిన్ అవసరం మళ్ళీ ఫెసిలిటీస్ యాక్చువల్గా 750 Sir, please welcome.
diploma in child and family counseling. And I have also done a diploma in inclusive education. And from past 4 years, I am dealing with children. So today, I am going to be your speaker for this session, Mental Health Act and Schemes for Persons with Disability Act. So if there is in between, if you're not able to understand something or if I'm going fast, so please let me know. Okay? Alright. So I will just present my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see? Today we will be talking about mental health. Before we start, I would want to know your understanding of mental health. What do you understand from mental health? Can anybody, anyone of you please tell me?
ఎవరైనా మాట్లాడతారా మెంటల్ హెల్త్
ఎవరండి
Anyone?
మెంటల్ హెల్త్ కోసం నేను మాట్లాడతాను.
Okay, no worries. I will only tell you. So, mental health, I will tell you about mental health. When we are talking about mental health basically covers 3 sections. First is your emotional health. Then second is the social factors, psychosocial factors, and third is the behavioral factors. So mental health comprises of these 3 factors that are very important for all of us. The emotional factors, the psychosocial factors, and behavioral factors. So it's A, B, C. So, Mental Health Act 2017, Lok Sabha passed the bill in March 2017, and in April 2017, it was signed by the President of India, and then finally, in May 2018, the Mental Health Care Act came into force. Now, the question is, why was there a need for a Mental Health Act? Okay, so let's just understand it in a very simple way. Just like our physical health is very important, I'm sure
everybody of you here kinds of exercises in some way or the other. Be it just walking for some time, or doing yoga, doing pranayama, doing dance, or any form of exercise, or just doing household chores. That is also a form of exercise. Similarly, keep our mind active. It is very important that we focus on mental health. So, Mental Health Act promotes and protects mental illness. It also focuses on addressing the stigma. Now, what is stigma? Stigma, anything, any stereotype. If I'll give you an example. So, if you talk about earlier times, previous times, so there was always a thing called that girls were not allowed to vote. So, there was a lot of stigma related to that. Similarly, there is a lot of stigma related to mental health also. So, when Mental Health Act came into force, so it also addresses the stigma. Plus, provide a quality care. Now let's understand what is mental illness. Give me a minute. Mental Health Care Act defines mental illness as substantial disorder. That means it talks about thinking, the way we think, what kinds of thoughts do we have. So it all starts from thinking. For example, if I am having a thought that my parents have scolded me, so it's very automatic that the second or the third or the 10th thought that is going to come in my head is that I might not like my parents or I might feel bad. And then depending upon that, my mood will fluctuate. I'll start feeling low, irritated, sad, and then my perception towards my parents also changes. That they don't love me, they don't care about me. So when we talk about mental illness, so it is a substantial disorder of thinking, mood, perception that affects our judgments. Because depending upon that, our judgment will also change. And depending upon that, the behavior will also change. For example, the same person will start to behave in a very angry way with the parents. Why? All because of the thinking. Because thinking led to the mood, mood led to the perception, perception led to judgment, and judgment led to behavior. Now, let's talk about rights to persons with mental illness. I'm sure everybody, just like we have the Constitution of India, we have certain rights, right to freedom. Similarly, there are certain rights when it comes to mental illness that are very important. Let's just understand one by one. So the first right is rights to access mental health care. This right talks about that every person shall have the right to access mental health care, irrespective of from wherever they belong, whichever community, whichever gender, whatever sexual orientation, religion, class, caste, political beliefs they might hold, but Government of India gives equal access to everyone, every citizen of India for mental health. Then the next is right to information. A person who is suffering from mental illness can himself also take charge of it, or he or she, if is not able to do so, he can nominate a representative. For example, if I am the one who is going through a mental illness, but I think that I am not in a place that I can take care of everything. So I represent my brother to take care of other things and to take care of important decisions. So a person who is suffering from mental illness, he or the nominated representative have the right to know that what is the criteria of admission if one person has to be admitted in a hospital, what is the treatment plan, what are the consequences, what are going to be the side effects of that particular treatment, and what all things are going to be required. Then next is right to assess mental health records. Every person who is going through a mental health illness, they have an access to a medical record. So if you remember, if we go to a doctor, if we go to orthopedician, so he always gives us a prescription, or if somebody gets a fracture or somebody has a surgery, there is a proper procedure in the hospital. Similarly, in terms of mental health also, all the mental health records are going to be shared with the person who is suffering or the nominated representative. Next is right to equality and non-discrimination. So this right talks about that every person should be treated equal, irrespective of whatever physical illness they might have, and they should be given all these services. For example, if somebody wants to avail the service of ambulance or any emergency services, so there should be no discrimination based upon that. There is right to confidentiality. Right to confidentiality and restriction on release of information respect of mental illness. So I'm sure everybody, all the speakers we have in the house are somehow dealing with children. So everyone is very well aware that when it comes to students or when it comes to anything, the confidentiality is very important. For example, if a child comes to me and discusses something, so it is my responsibility to take care of that information and not discuss that information with anyone. So the entire procedure of the admission, the treatment, side effects, mental health care, insurance if there is any, so that should be confidential between the client and the doctor or the nominated representative. Then is right to free legal aid. A person with mental illness shall receive all the free legal services under this Act. So it is the duty of the magistrate, police officer, or the officer who is in charge that all the services are being enlightened to the client. There is right to protection from cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. So every person who is going through a mental illness lives, he or she should live with dignity in the society. So nobody should say any derogatory or demeaning comments. No cruel behavior should be with them in any way. This is what the mental health talks about. And its capacity to make mental health care and treatment decisions. So every person who is going through a mental illness shall have the right to make healthcare or treatment decision. For example, if I am going through a mental illness, then I have an independent right that I can take decision on behalf of myself that what I would like to do with the course of action ahead. Or if I am not able to do, then I can assign a nominated representative. If the person is able to understand the information, for example, if I am able to understand all the information, I can communicate with the doctor, or if I am not able to do, I can also communicate in the form of sign language, maybe some aid, or if I am not able to take a decision, then the nominated representative can do so. There is advance directive. Now this talks every person. So who is not a minor? Minor is somebody who is below 18. So that means all the adults, they have they give it in writing or specify the way they would want to get treated. For example, if I having an illness. So since I am above the age of 18, so I can write down that these are my requirements. I want you people to take care of all these things when you are treating me. So that will be considered. Next is the nominated representative. Now, who is the nominated representative? So somebody who is okay, an individual, a person with mental illness appoints to represent. For example, there is a husband and a wife, and the husband is having a mental illness, and he thinks that there are times when he is dizzy or when he is not really able to take informed decisions. So he represents his right to take decisions on his behalf. And now this nominated representative also has the responsibility to support the other person with his decisions and be there for the process of treatment. A nominated representative can be a family member, a close friend, but he or she should not be a minor. Perform the function assigned to him. Whatever functions, whatever tasks that have been given to him or her shall be done by the nominated representative. The nominated representative of the person he should make information. He should know the information about the diagnosis, what is going to be the treatment, what is going to be the planning, and what are going to be the home rehabilitation services. Sometimes there are also situations when the home rehabilitation is done. Then consent for state authority obtain the knowledge. Relevant research. Now it is also responsibility that he or she should also do a relevant research on mental health. Procedures and conditions. Okay, before we proceed, I would like to know that whatever I have covered, if there is any doubt. If there is any doubt. Am I audible? Whatever I have covered, anything you would want to ask me, you can ask. Please do raise your hand, then we can proceed further. Or do you want me to continue?
సైన్ చేయలేదు.
Yes, I am just going to present it. What is the procedure and condition? So the first thing is that admission. So admission, treatment and discharge of patient. So whenever we are talking about yes, yeah. So whenever treatment and discharge of illness, including minors. So anybody who is going through a mental illness, irrespective of their age, they can be admitted depending upon the severity of the mental illness. Further, it states that minors shall be accommodated separately from adults. So if there is any minor, and if there is any child or a teenager who is below the age of 18 years, he or she is not supposed to stay together with the same section in which the adults are staying. So there is going to be a different segment for adults and a different segment for children. Their age and their developmental needs are kept under consideration. So, of course, since depression, bipolar would require a different plan action. Similarly, a child and an adult, a course of action would be completely different, and it would depend upon the needs of the individual. So this particular mental health act also prohibits that there should not be any electroconvulsive therapy without the use of muscle relaxants and anesthesia. So there are times, it usually happens in very severe conditions that a person is given electroconvulsive therapy, but that is out of like once out of 50 or once out of 100. So whenever there is electroconvulsive therapy being given, so a muscle relaxant should be given and an anesthesia. That is a mandatory thing. And electroconvulsive therapy is not for minors. They cannot get that. It's sterilization of men and women. When such sterilization is intended as a treatment for men, no chaining in any manner. For example, there are patients who are very disruptive, and it becomes very difficult to handle them. So many a times what happens is that the hospital staff or sometimes the parents or the concerned caregiver only says that we should not tie him or chain him. But it is strictly prohibited. You cannot tie the patient without his approval. Ideally, it is not only approved, but if somebody says that, then it is a different thing. Then what are the roles and responsibilities of concerned authorities? Now, who are these concerned authorities? Let's just focus on. First is the development of quality standard. So there is an optimum level of standard to ensure that all the mental health care is being given at par with the standard. So this is something that is ensured by the state governments. So every state would be having certain hospitals that are taking care of this particular unit. So they are the ones who are going to consistently keep a check on the quality of the things that are being provided by the hospital. Then there is the duties of state mental health authority. So this talks about registration of mental health profession. So these are very minute, like little points that are not really covered, but I will explain it to you verbally only. I can also share the PPT and the document with you after this. So, so the first is that registration of mental health professional. So the state authority will shall register the clinical psychologists, the mental health nurses, and the psychiatric social workers, so that they work together in collaboration, and that entire registration, that entire document is going to be presented to the staff. Then is the research. The state authority is also going to make an informed consent from person with mental illness for participation in any research. For example, let's say, so what happens is that sometimes, so research is a way in which we can figure out that what is going on and what is going to be the prognosis further. So if I give a consent that I would like to be a part of the research, that the authority can take me as a research, and they can ask me certain questions to kind of monitor the entire process, and it can further help the other people also. Is mental health review board. So in this step, review board. So they are going to appoint a person that is going to be maybe a director or Department of Social Welfare, who is going to be a designated representative in that particular case. So I'm sure you all might have come across beggars on road. There are beggars, like they are all alone and they are in that process from so many years, and sometimes they're not even wearing clothes. So many a times, and their behavior is also very year and they get reported to the hospitals. And when you ask them who is with you, they say nobody. So in this particular case, what can be done is that a mental health review board can sit together and the social representative is going to be decided and he is going to take a designated decision on behalf of for that particular beggar. Then is mental health establishment. So every person or organization that proposes a shall, so if there is any agency or a mental health hospital, they have to register themselves with the assigned authority and an audit of all the registered mental health establishment shall be conducted. So audit will be conducted every 3 years under the supervision of review board. That is mental health professional. So no mental health professional or any medical practitioner shall discharge any duty or any function that is not authorized by the Act. So the mental health professionals are only going to work on the things that are designated in the Act. Anything apart from that is totally prohibited. It is the responsibilities of other agencies. So duties of police officers in respect to persons with mental illness. So every officer in charge, so there's an officer who is in charge of a police station. He is going to take care of the area around them, and if there are any such cases that are being referred to them, so it is their responsibility that they kind of further get in touch with the NGOs and the social welfare departments and the mental health professionals and look after the proper treatment of that particular patient. Then is offenses and penalties. So there are many a times what happens is that people start working by themselves without any degree, without any designated being a designated professional. So if any people who are not registered with the Council of India, so they will have to face a strict punishment. A certain amount is going to be there that they are going to have to pay, and also strict action will be taken against them. And the other is for a person working in unregistered mental offences by companies. So when an offence has been committed by a company, so company referring to the hospital. So every person who at the time of offence was in charge for the conduct of the company shall be deemed guilty and punished accordingly. So many a times what happens is that hospitals also they engage in wrongdoing. So whoever is in charge of it, he or she will be held guilty and punished accordingly. Now, the thing is this: how the prevention of mental health can be taken. So this is the major and this is the most important thing. So what we can do as individuals, like for ourselves also and also for our students, what we can do is that it's very important that we need to have a proper routine. Talking about routine, so there should be a daily cycle. For example, if you are having a breakfast from 8 to 8:30, so that should be the case every day. So you should have good habits. You should eat nutritious food. Then exercise is something that is mandated. It should not even be a choice. It should be a mandatory thing, just like we eat food. Similarly, you also need to exercise. So that we prevent mental illness. So because whenever we are exercising, so there are certain good hormones, dopamine and all we get releases in our body, and we feel very good, we feel very energetic. So that is directly linked with the brain and the neurons. Then is engaging yourself in any hobby or constructive activity. So it's very important that you have healthy hobbies. It can be any hobby that is productive. You can start with the practice of journaling whenever you are stressed out or overthinking. So what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to set a bunny break. rather than thinking about the particular thing for the entire day, it is very important that you trigger a certain time, half an hour, and you think about all your worries in that particular time. And you can also practice journaling, like just simply penning down your thoughts. Three things I'm grateful for. You can start with that habit, and it will take at least 21 days to like build that habit and 90 days to come in your personality. And do not criticize yourself. If there is a low moment, if there is a case you think that you are not able to deal with, you can just take a pause, just go and talk to somebody you trust, or just take a pause and be kind to yourself. Sometimes what happens is that we are like very rude and we just get self-criticizing so much that we originally like start getting away from the guilt and learn how to deal with the stress. So it can only be done if you kind of take a pen and a paper, because if you're thinking in your head, it will all be chaotic. And our brain loves organization. It's always better if you put on a piece of paper. Then set realistic goal. For example, if there is a child who is not in a habit of studying, so what he or she should do. Now, there was a parents teacher meet today, and he scored very less marks. So it's very natural that the child is feeling very guilty. I have scored very less marks, just 10 marks out of 40 in all the subjects, 10, 9, 8. So now that he's feeling very guilty, so he's going to be serious for next 2 3 days. He thinks that day I go and study 3 chapters. But now you also need to question oneself that is it like genuinely possible? Is it a smart goal? Because you will not be able to achieve that. So you have to formulate realistic goals. So if that child thinks that I want to do half chapter or one chapter, that is realistic. But if he or she thinks that I will do chapters, that is unrealistic. So what happens is that when you set unrealistic goals, it's very likely that you will not attain them. And third day, you will again in that process of procrastination. Take their group supports. Now, see people who can support you with, look for the closest people you have, be it your family or your friends. And if there's something, it's very persistent, like it's going on for 6 months, then it's high time that you should talk to a mental health professional. Approach teachers if there is any adjustment in the class. And the teacher also need to be very vigilant. If you see that there is a child who is being quiet or she is like indulging in odd behaviors, then it's kind of a red flag that you need to take care of and kind of talk to the child and just see how you can go ahead with that. Talk to the parents regarding issues in studies. Stay away from cigarettes, alcohol, and other drugs. So it's very important because addiction is something that is worse and it will somehow also impact your mental health. Get help from a professional whenever you need it. Okay, so we are done with one part of it. I'm ready to take the questions. If there are any questions, any doubts, you can let me know. Then we can work on the schemes part. Are there any questions? Is there any doubt? Or I'm supposed to continue? Now we'll be covering the schemes for welfare of persons with disabilities. So there are many schemes that are in place. I have tried to cover some of them, considering the paucity of the time. So the first is DISHA. So DISHA is an early intervention. It's a school readiness program for the children of age group 0 to 10 years that covers 4 disabilities, and it comes under the National Trust Act. So the aim to set up this was to kind of identify persons with disabilities and work through the therapies, the different therapies that are required, that what can be the trainings and providing support to family members. So as of now, like there are 115 Disha centers benefiting 617 beneficiaries in the country, and this includes 21 Disha centers benefiting 317 beneficiaries during 218 and 219. Then is Vikas. Vikas is a day care scheme for Divyangjan attaining the age of 10 years and above. This is specifically to expand the opportunities that are going to be available, and also enhancing the interpersonal and vocational skills, so that specifically for a higher age group. So the people who are above 10 years or 10 years, so they can engage in some sort of vocational training, so that tomorrow they can kind of work on that particular sphere and be independent, and also gain a sense of confidence. And yeah, so the center also caters caregiving support to Divyangjan during the time. It also helps supporting family members of Divyangjan under the same National Trust Act to give some time during the day to fulfill other responsibilities. So this particular scheme, because it focuses on providing equal opportunities to persons with disabilities in terms of interpersonal and vocational skills to the child also and the family also, and they can like it's a daytime thing. So the family can also get some time, and the child can also engross in like some productive things, so that he or she tomorrow can expand that particular thing as a profession also. Then is Disha Kamvikas. So, for registered organizations, this is particularly for the registered organizations that implement multiple schemes. For implementing one scheme was given based on the consent given by registered organization. Keep guidelines. Registered organization also called Disha Kamvikas scheme, and there are currently many schemes also undergoing in the country. There is Garunda Group Home for Adults. So the objective of this scheme is to provide home and minimum quality of care services to the life of persons with autism, cerebral palsy, ID, and disabilities. The scheme facilitates establishment through the infrastructure care system to the country, and also like giving kind of attaining a respect in the society. So there are 50 centers in the country, 50 centers that are benefiting, and this includes 17 Corona centers benefiting 35 beneficiaries. There is Samarth Kam Corona scheme. So for the registered organizations who are implementing multiple schemes, so similarly, they also have now a Samarth Kam Gharunda scheme. There is Badalte Kalam Awareness Community Interaction and Innovative Project scheme. So Badalte Kalam, from name itself, it is very evident that it's time for change. So what this particular scheme focuses on is they kind of spread awareness about the persons with disabilities, then sensitize people around them, have community interaction, bring people closer, be it parents or kind of build a community support and try to support them in an innovative way. So they have also established a project. Now, yeah, so that is what their major focus is on integrating the people and kind of moving towards the inclusion. So creating a safe space, and a safe space can only be created if we kind of generate conversations, if we like have conversation break the stigma, and that can only happen through having open communication.